I went for some work experience at a digital marketing company, and Joe, they weren't even speaking English.
What do you mean they weren't speaking English?
I mean, they were talking HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, you're talking about the coding terms. Those are the 3 pillars of the web. Hey, my name's Josiah, aka Akanji, and get comfortable. I'm going to take a few minutes to help you out. I'm going to break down 3 key forces in the digital industry and the essential language they use. I was able to spend some time with Headie 1, and I got to ask him how the net has been crucial for his success. Headie, thank you so much for joining us for this quick set.
Hello.
I've got a few questions for you if you don't mind asking.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cool. The first one is, could you tell me about the benefits and liabilities of having your music on the net in the early days of your success?
The liabilities first was that I didn't really understand the changes which was actually happening until it was nearly detrimental to myself.
Wow.
Where it's like I'm sharing music, but to me it's just like, in the beginning I just like doing music and I'm telling my story with everything that's going on, but I wasn't really aware as to how far this music is reaching and how much people was actually connecting with until it came back to me in a full circle, if you know what I'm trying to say. So that's something that I had to learn, and luckily not in too much of a hard way. And I managed to like kind of just save it last minute, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Save it from what?
From like spoiling the hard work that had been done up until that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, luckily I'm here to tell the story and that, and from a more positive, better place. But
what about the benefits?
The benefits, it's just a good feeling, you know, like all the love that you're getting and seeing that what you're creating is actually being taken in and received nicely. It's motivating as well. It makes you want to keep going and build on what you're doing because you don't want it to end.
You know in Rose Gold,
Yeah.
you talk about how once you were obsessed with money,
Yeah.
now you're obsessed with the progress.
Yeah.
How would you apply that to staying up to date with like digital language or like terminology, like, because as things are changing, how do you stay up to date with it? Keep it ear to what's happening?
Yeah, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people nowadays are like obsessed with materialistic things and like obsessed with money and obsessed with like all of these kind of stuff, especially like you said in this like new digital social media kind of world. But I feel like I've tried to train myself to not measure these kind of things in amounts. Like having a certain amount of money in the bank to me is not what I see as being successful, if you know what I'm trying to say. I feel like all of that is irrelevant if you're not progressing mentally and progressing like within yourself. It's almost like spiritually, if you know what I'm trying to say. If you're not progressing into a better place away from all of these materialistic things, because those things can triple tomorrow and minus tomorrow and times 10 tomorrow and minus 10, like those things can change drastically at any given moment. Like it's not really something that's like measurable in my eyes. So that's what I mean by when I say I'm obsessed with the progress. Yeah.
What would you credit most of your progress to in recent years?
Probably just remaining positive, you know. You know, like day to day there's like a lot of rubbish that you have to deal with. And a lot of things that are like put in place to make you fail. And you just gotta just like keep your eyes open and stay determined and like just keep cutting through.
I like it. My last question for you is, so your song with Drake.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about how the internet helped you with like international business, like providing wider business opportunities for you?
It's made like the world a bit smaller, where like you ain't gotta travel across the world to speak to somebody no more, or you ain't gotta travel across the world to see somebody no more. It's like everyone's almost like in one room. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's definitely something that has allowed loads of young people to be able to change their lives faster and communicate with like people from around the world. That's the one positive thing that I'd say, like all of that kind of stuff has helped with, yeah.
Excellent. It was beautiful speaking to you, man.
Well, good to speak to you too.
Appreciate it. In order to help these key digital terms to stick, I'm going to break them down through an analogy. of a simple restaurant. Yep, you heard me, a restaurant. So picture one, somewhere that serves food, where you can socialize and take in the ambience. You can even picture yourself there, seated, eating breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Now, imagine that the restaurant building was the internet, except that instead of the building, we have coding. Instead of traditional marketing and promotional material, we have digital marketers. And instead of menus and dishes, we have social media platforms. Now, let's compare the restaurant to the fundamentals of the internet. So first, we have to break down the building with all its foundations. This represents coding because it upholds the entire infrastructure of the internet. But they don't use concrete, brick, nor steel for the internet. Instead, they use HTML, JavaScript, and CSS because everything is digital. Programmers use these to build the web. These are the programming languages that, when written in different formats, can create the most amazing digital structures. Facebook, Amazon, and YouTube, and pretty much any website that you use has been built on at least one of these programs. Whether it's telling the page where to display an image or what condition to make something appear, they create the foundation. Next, we have promotional and marketing, the act of attracting customers to the restaurant. This represents the digital market of the internet. Now, the aim of the game for marketing is to offer customers an amazing experience in the restaurant, exceed their expectations so they keep returning. Digital marketers use a variety of digital marketing methods to communicate with customers and promote sales and services in a way that makes them want to use the internet again and again. Imagine them promoting the restaurant and how good it is, special events and special offers available to them. Something for you to investigate further as you get more serious about the subject are the main categories of digital marketing. These are search engine optimization, pay-per-click, social media marketing, content marketing, email marketing, mobile marketing, marketing analysis, and affiliate marketing. The correct name used for a customer's digital journey is actually called a funnel. And they also use the term CTR, meaning click-through rate. This represents how many people would actually come to the restaurant having responded to the promotional material that they've seen. So, when you see an advert on TikTok, the app is going to calculate the rate based on how many people saw that ad and how many people actually clicked on it. In addition to this, terms are used to measure how successful this journey is for the marketers, how successful it is for making people want to come back. And that's KPI, which stands for Key Performance Indicator. This allows digital marketers to know if they've achieved their goal of either converting you into a fan of a product or perhaps just to increase someone's awareness of a product. Some popular KPIs include impressions, views, follows, likes, and clicks. Finally, we have the customer experience in the restaurant. Where you sit, the level of service, how long you have to wait for a meal. This represents social media platforms. Now, their focus is giving customers the best user experience, or UX for short. This will come down to how you navigate the application or page and interact with it, such as the controls on the YouTube player and how your feed is organized between recommendations and other categories, or the simple use of a like, share, and comment button that exists on Instagram and TikTok. Part of the reason they make such a good experience for you is because of your familiarity with the icons. Now, let's talk about the digital term algorithm. In the restaurant, they're trying to make the restaurant work better. It would be like the waiter remembering where you sat, what you ate, what time you came in. This is what an algorithm does. TikTok is strong at this. They serve you your next meal based on all your last choices. For example, I know that over the summer, I've really got into cooking. Now, constantly on my feed, I get TikToks on cooking techniques. All right, that was probably a lot to take in. I think it's time that we see how this analogy matches up to the real world by speaking to an expert. Hey, James.
Hi, how's it going?
Great, thanks. Could you tell me, what are you currently doing on the web?
So I actually work for a consultancy called Stonehaven. I'm actually the digital campaigns consultant there. So I do a wide variety of digital practices, predominantly usually on the website. So things like SEO, search engine optimization, to ads themselves. So if you go on your social medias, you'll see a variety of different ads displayed. It's actually my role to get people to stop and read those ads and click through to the end destination, wherever that is. I work in the comms industry, so if you look what we were trying to achieve 10 years ago, we were looking to get the latest articles in the newspaper, looking at magazines. It's all kind of very kind of physical and tangible, but at the moment it's heavily weighted towards kind of what's judging success, and that success nowadays is impressions, it's clicks, it's through to the website, get your ranking amazing and get like visual online. And I think because the world is in this industry is changing so quickly, companies can really get left behind very quickly if they haven't got the right set of skills, the right individuals on board. And so I think it's a fantastic industry to join actually at the moment, as you are constantly in demand.
I'm kind of, getting the impression that, you're talking about how some companies will fall short if they don't have a particular set of skills or particular types of professionals. What do you think the industry needs more of going forward? If I was, going to get into the industry, what would be a good niche for me to kind of like find my way into?
So I actually really think entry points is a huge flaw of where this industry lies at the moment. So not many people know how to get into digital marketing. They don't know how to kind of do these specific courses, say on coding. These words actually are quite scary for some. If you say coding to a lot of people, they're like, oh gosh, that's a lot of digits and squiggly lines that they have no idea about. But there's not actually enough courses really out there, in my opinion, that do specifically on these topics. Like, for example, like a software engineer, it's an incredibly complex job role. But actually to go to university and study like software engineering or engineering, it's very kind of rare at the moment. So I think it actually stems down to schools, colleges, academies. If they can provide the courses to get people like really interested in the topic and not be intimidated by it almost, I feel that's a great starting point. What
other roles would you recommend people to kind of like look up and research and potentially learn in their own time?
I think website design, website creation is a really fascinating one. Just because if you learn how to build basic pages on a website, which you can learn fairly quickly, that can then lead to various different avenues within careers. So actually a lot of companies who are wanting to employ software engineers, they're not actually going directly towards these software engineer titles. They're going towards, say, web developers and various kind of people that have maybe similar skills, but are willing to upskill in order to kind of land these software engineers. But it also just kind of gets a bit of creativity as well out of you. You learn various design aspects, as well as like the core coding and the nitty-gritty stuff behind as well. And it's all about like layouts on the pages as well. Like what is your end goal on the website? It's to get people to click through, it's to sign up, it's to purchase, and it's all very kind of meaningful information that's only going to get more and more important as the world goes more digital.
All right, let me keep it real. We've only scratched the surface when it comes to words used by digital professionals. If this was a video on how to speak a foreign language, you'd only really know how to say, hello, what's your name? And goodbye. Let's recap. The key words today have been HTML, JavaScript, and CSS, the pillars of the web. Funnel, CTR, UX, KPI, and algorithm. There are digital words out there that we use daily. For example, where were you when you first learned the word email or browser or even search engine? You probably can't even think back to a time like that. Yet these terms were foreign to you. Now they are a part of your everyday language. We don't even have to think about it. But that being said, you have learned something. And as your knowledge and experience continues to develop in this digital space, try picturing that analogy of the restaurant. Now, if you want to learn more, you could check out this digital course for coding. It's freecodecamp.org. Or to find out more about digital marketing, you could go to Grow Google or Avado. In addition to this, make sure to check out some of our other Apprentice Nation videos. I'd personally recommend our digital skills series, specifically Digital Native Own It. Is really inspirational. And if you really want to go the extra mile, speak to one of our mentors. Several of our Apprentice Nation mentors have amazing digital backgrounds and would like to guide you through how to familiarize yourself with digital terminology. Hope you enjoyed it. I am Josiah, aka Akanji, and I'm wishing you luck on your digital journey.